A key milestone completed in the construction of the Gordie Howe International Bridge.
So exciting. Take a look at this picture from the bridge's.
After nearly 7 years of hard work, the bridge deck is complete. The Canadian segment was finished first, with the remaining work on the US side culminating in the completion of the deck and the connection of the bridge. This final segment, known as the mid-span closure, has been custom built to fit perfectly, taking into account temperature changes and the expansion properties of the steel. With this connection, the bridge now stretches seamlessly across the Detroit rivers, ready for the next phases. The bridge deck connection is a huge accomplishment, but there's still some work ahead before you can take a scenic drive across the Gordie Howe International Bridge. Let's take a look at the next steps and timeline. Construction crews will now focus on the final touches, like installing the remaining stay cables, 20 of a total 216. Hazard systems like the electrical and fire suppression mechanisms, the drainage systems, barriers, signage, lighting, deck paving and pavement marking, completing the concrete work for the Interstate 75 ramps and port of entry facilities, and putting the finishing touches on the toll booths. The work also needs to be done on the multi-use path that would allow bikers and walkers to travel along the bridge if they aren't in a vehicle. Once construction nears completion, the team will conduct comprehensive operational tests to ensure everything is functioning smoothly and safely before opening the bridge to traffic. The good news is there's a target opening date in sight. Currently, September 2025 is the projected time frame for the bridge to welcome its first vehicles. Even after the bridge opens, there might be some additional construction activities related to finalizing the US and Canadian port of entry facilities. The entire project, including all construction and testing phases, is expected to be fully completed sometime in 2025. So far, an army of 2,500 workers has put in more than 12 million hours of work. Over 220 local businesses have been engaged on the project, and more than 6,470 individuals have been oriented to the project in Canada and the US. Pretty impressive numbers, and it comes as no surprise that the anticipation for the bridge's successful finish is brewing each day. Once it is complete, you can count on having a smooth drive across the international crossing. The Gordie Howe Bridge is a cable-stayed structure featuring 6 lanes, 3 for US-bound traffic and 3 for Canada-bound traffic. Plus, the bridge will have a separate lane for pedestrians and cyclists. It will span approximately 2.5 kilometers, 1.5 miles across the Detroit River, making it one of the longest bridges in North America. There are 2 722-foot towers, as tall as the Renaissance Center in Detroit, connected with 26 cables each to support the structure, with enough wire to stretch from Detroit to Alaska, making a clear span of 853 meters, 0.53 miles. This ensures that no piers are in the water, promoting safe and efficient navigation and crowning it as the longest main span of any cable-stayed bridge in North America and the 10th longest in the world. But these towers were not that easy to design. They were a big challenge for the construction teams. They needed to be laid deep enough in the soil near the river's edge to support the weight of the bridge deck. The towers had 6 shafts that were welded into the bedrock about 755 feet under the ground. To hold the shafts in place, around 262,000 litres of concrete were poured inside to make a stable foundation for the bridge. The complete distance of the bridge will stretch over 1,550 miles, standing over 150 feet above the water. The cable-stayed structure has a number of benefits, and it was the design chosen for the Gordie Howe Bridge. Experts say it can last up to 125 service years. The project is being delivered through a public-private partnership, P3. This model involves the private sector in designing, building, financing, operating and maintaining the bridge, ensuring financial certainty and long-term performance guarantees. But here is where it gets interesting for you. There will be no tolls charged on the side of the United States. Travellers from both countries will pay the charges at the Canadian toll booth. This is because Canada is spending the most on the bridge's construction. However, there will be no toll fee for the multi-use path, which will be toll-free for all. The Canadian port of entry, located on a 53-hectare, 130-acre site, will be the largest Canadian port along the Canada-US border. Facilities will include inbound and outbound inspection areas, tolling operations, and maintenance facilities. The US port of entry, situated on a 60-hectare, 145-acre site, will include inbound and outbound inspection areas and commercial exit control booths, making it one of the largest ports of entry in North America. This component includes the construction of ramps connecting the US port of entry to Interstate 75, along with local road improvements. New road bridges and pedestrian bridges are being constructed to facilitate smooth traffic flow. As exciting as the future of the Gordie Howe Bridge is, its journey to this point has been anything but smooth. The story behind its construction is filled with legal battles, opposition, and a fight against time. There was a lot of chatter about the construction of the Gordie Howe Bridge, but the biggest opposing party was the guy who owned the Ambassador Bridge, Manuel Maroon. Manuel had bought the bridge back in 1979 when shares came on the market. And this bridge was one of the biggest reasons why he became a billionaire, which shows why the bridge was so important to him. He even sued the government for building the new Gordie Howe Bridge and wanted to put a stop to it. But there were simply a lot of problems with the bridge. It was accused of its monopoly status and the fact that it was privately owned by the billionaire. The bridge started way back in 1910 and was running strong, but there was a need to increase the traffic flow across the crossing. Maroon even suggested adding a span to his bridge, but that was not entirely feasible, leading the idea to be shut down. A legal battle was started by the owners of the Ambassador Bridge to claim the rights, but that battle was lost terribly in court. The judges rejected the lawsuits and the construction of the project continued at a strong pace. These lawsuits started in 2010 and the problem continued until 2016, causing a massive delay in the construction of the project. Even after the construction began, the pandemic was a big hindrance to the development of the bridge. Not just that, there were problems with supplying goods and labourers working shifts too, causing the bridge to take years to reach its final stages. But now that it's nearly done, let's take a look at some fascinating facts. We've talked all about the bridge's overview and design, but did you stop to wonder why it is named the Gordie Howe Bridge? That's because the name has a special meaning for both countries. It is to honour the name of the popular Canadian ice hockey player Gordie Howe. His hometown was Windsor, but he played for the great Detroit Red Wings for more than 25 years and led to 4 Stanley Cup wins. Sadly, he died 2 years before the construction of the bridge began, but his name will be etched forever through this bridge. Another interesting thing about the bridge is its design. The frames of the 2 towers standing tall in the bridge's construction are actually a representation of a slap shot in ice hockey. They're made to resemble the curvature of the hockey sticks as they're swung for a winning slap shot. The bridge's construction was also made to be flexible. The paved shoulders at each end of the bridge can allow the workers to add another lane in each direction in the future if needed. The 3 lanes are expected to fulfill the capacity of the traffic, but these potential lanes can ensure smooth traffic in the later days without the need to burn the bridge down. Plus, there will be no traffic signals. The traffic is expected to be continuous on both ends, only stopping at toll booths or for border control. The border checkpoints will be around 24 on the side of Canada and 36 on the side of the United States. Most of all, this bridge will reduce the traffic time of the international crossing between 2 borders from 18 minutes of travel time to a whopping 11 minutes. That's huge. Apart from the smooth flow of traffic, the Gordie Howe Bridge will enhance the connection between the 2 countries. It will serve as a monumental symbol for future generations and a milestone of progress for both Canada and the United States. It will also allow tourists to easily travel between the 2 nations, reducing both the travel time and the hassle of going long distances. If you liked the video, hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. We will keep you posted with more updates on the mega projects running around the world. Let us know in the comments whether you're looking forward to travelling on this bridge. We would love to hear your thoughts. Have a great day, and thanks for watching.